What's up? How's it going? Training vlog, day 25. This is GST size, 25 weeks of growth. I am into week 9 already here. So week 9, microcycle 4, that means 90% 1 rep max on these first 2 core lifts, chin-ups and overhead presses. I'm gonna get overhead presses set up and I'm just gonna talk while I do that. Let me talk to you for an intro here. I gotta tell you a funny story. I'm feeling tired today, like wiped out. I woke up and I got to work like usual. Saturday morning work, just doing some work for clients on the computer, posting up a reel, stuff like that, and I couldn't stay awake. That never happens. You know, you're supposed to be refreshed in the morning, feeling good, and I just couldn't stay awake. So I told my wife, man, I just feel tired. I don't know what's up. She said, well, let's go for a little walk. It's cold outside, you get some fresh air and your lungs wake up a little bit, take a brisk walk. So we did that. Unbeknownst to me, on the walk, she tells me, man, I bet you didn't sleep very good last night. I said, why? She said, because I had a nightmare. I was like essentially running out of the room. I almost ran into the door frame. And then she said she also woke up one time having a great dream where she was laughing out loud, waking up. A lot of times I wake up from this because I'm a light sleeper. For some reason last night I didn't wake up, but obviously I was disrupted throughout the night. So my mystery was solved. You know, I figured out why I'm so tired, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care if I'm tired today. I popped the C4, 20 ounce, 200 milligrams caffeine, ready to drink pre-workout, frozen bombsicle. I love that flavor. I popped that. I'm gonna get into this because these days where you feel like maybe you should skip training, those are the days that you need to get into training because they always end up being great. And I'm relying on that. I know that's going to happen. It's going to be a great day. I had to tell you guys about that story though. That's it's one of the things with, you know, sleeping with somebody else in the same bed. Sometimes you sleep great, but if they don't have a good night, you're probably not going to have a good night either. And that's just how it goes. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of it. It's just part of living with someone you love, having a wife, having a girl, sleeping in the same bed with them. So let's get into the workout and let's see how this turns into a great day. It wakes me up, gives me more energy for the rest of my day. Good old overhead pressing. Checking in for core lift number 1 here. Let me do a voiceover on this. I've got about a minute to get through these 3 sets. Overhead pressing, you know, I have to be honest, this is not a strong lift for me. I feel like this is my weakest lift. I enjoy it. I really like it. It feels good. But I just feel like it never really excelled to the point of my other lifts, like my other presses, my other pulls. In relation, I feel like it's just always been a little bit weaker. I think I capped out at like 185 with a little bit of leg drive one time, but that's it. And I just don't feel like that's that much. It was near body weight. I feel like I should have at least done body weight at some point in my life, but it just never happened. Maybe it will someday, but it just hasn't happened yet. The thing I want to talk about with overhead pressing, when you're standing with a barbell, you know, there's no bench there to support you. There's nothing to push against for leverage. So you want to remain safe and you want to remain focused on bracing. You want to brace at the midsection. You don't want your hips floating back and forth when you have weight over your head. You just don't want that. That's a recipe for disaster. It's going to make your body move in a way that you're not planning on. And you don't want to move in a way that you're not planning on when you're lifting weights. You want everything to be planned and focused. So when it's really heavy like this, you know, I'm really thinking about just bracing at the core, keeping my legs flexed. And of course, I'm thinking about my shoulders and my triceps working as well. But the main point I want to get across is you got to think about bracing when you're doing standing barbell overhead presses. All right, it's not like that was terrible. You know, those reps did feel pretty rough, but it's not like it was terrible all in all. I did 9 reps in total at 90% 1 rep max. So I'm happy. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm happy. I'm not ecstatic. So I'm gonna get this volume set in. 20 reps, cut the weight in half. So 140. We're just gonna pump up the delts, add extra volume. Just have fun with it. You know, this is just a feel good set. shit's getting tough. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh. 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 Man, that was tough. Working set 1, so I got body weight plus 45. We're gonna see what happens here. I haven't gone this heavy in a while. I've done the 25. I did the 25 last week, and that went great. The warm-up just went real good too with the 25. So I'm anticipating, a couple solid reps here. Again, this is a 1+ goal, so I don't have this goal of high reps or anything. Okay, nice 3. Comfortable, calm, cool, collected. That was great. Now, if I can repeat that last set, that's gonna be money. I think I can do that too. Man, that set felt, just like I said, relaxed almost. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was nice. Whew. All right, this is AMRAP set. Like you saw, sets 1 and 2, those were quality for 3. Maybe I can bust out more than 3 here. We'll see how it goes. There's only one way to find out. You just got to get into it, and you just got to do the work. Start doing reps. Get that count up. Ooh. 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 Come on. Ooh. That'll work. Hey, 5 will work. That was nice. My brain did not want to do that 5th, but I made it. You gotta make yourself do some shit sometimes. All right, man, you got to hit that wall sometimes. Whew, this lift's been going up week after week after week. Finally hit a weight that I couldn't do all my reps for. That's all right though. Set number 2, 9 reps. Set number 3, we'll probably try to get that 7 to 9 range. Let me take a few minutes rest and I'll get back to it. Now, you know, sometimes occasionally a person will come back strong and do more on their third set than their second set. It's not the norm. It can happen from time to time. Maybe it'll happen here. My prediction is that it's not going to happen just because that's the way I feel right now. And I think I'm probably going to hit close to 10, but I don't think I'm going to get quite to 10 here. The point is I'm going to max out the effectiveness of every rep, take my time, control the negative, have a controlled explosion on each positive, and just think about the chest. Let's try one more. Come on. Whew. Yep. Okay, that's exactly what I was looking for. I feel good about 8, solid 8. Just like I said, controlled explosion, focus on the chest, make the most of the set. That's what it's all about. Gotta maximize the day. So flat bench dumbbell rows. Now today, these might be a little bit rough, and I'm gonna tell you why, because these power block dumbbells that I got the extension kits up to 125, but once you hit 90, that's when the extension kit kicks in, and it's actually 102.5 to 125. So you got a 12.5 pound dumbbell jump, which is a big dumbbell jump. I mean, if you really think about it in percentage based thinking, you know, 90, and then you're adding 12.5 pounds, it's like a 15% increase, and that's a big jump on any lift. So these might be a tad rough today, maybe not as smooth as my last vlog's performance, but that's fine. I'm gonna just see how I can move these right off the bat. Let's see how they go. All right. Remember all my tips? I put out that in-depth dumbbell row tutorial last week. Getting all those tips in mind here. Braced in the midsection. I'm gonna almost hit the floor. Maybe I'm gonna tap the floor each time at the bottom and just be solid with my reps. I have to say that felt pretty good. I'm feeling 3x10 today on this one. That felt nice. Oh, that was tough. That was tough too. You know, the left always feels a little less connected or comfortable, I would say. I've always felt a little more connected with the right on these. I just believe that's because I'm right-handed. Everything feels a little bit more connected on that side for the most part. But yeah, I'm still thinking 3x10, right and left today. Let's get back into it here. Kind of an interesting fact. I always go just like a hook grip on these. I don't really use my thumb at all. I've got suicide grip, hook grip, whatever you want to call it, just like the claw, whatever. I like doing that. And with these power blocks, they got this nice upper bar here. I just like to try to keep my wrist against that for bracing. It's actually really nice for dumbbell rows. I mean, that's definitely tough, but still doable, still manageable. Okay. I do recommend somewhat of a breather between your arms. That's what I'm doing right here. A lot of times I'll get up and like walk away, come back. But film is rolling, so I'm gonna keep rolling too. Yeah, not easy. Not the hardest in the world though, still getting my reps. Whew. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. I want to get done with these, not because they're hard. I want to get done with these because I'm really looking forward to those spider curls, those cable spider curls that are coming up next. I've really been liking those. All right, final. Stay braced. I'm gonna do my best to pull up and back here. I know I'm losing that a little bit just because of the big dumbbell jump. It's a little bit, it's tougher than what I normally do. It's heavier than what I normally do. So I know I'm not coming back as far as I could. I'm kind of coming up a little bit. That happens when weight gets pretty heavy, you know, a little bit heavier than it should be. So I'm really thinking about pulling back. Oh, I think that was 10. All right, need that break. Just a little breather, it's smart. You shouldn't expect yourself to just power right into the next set or the next arm. There's no reason for that. I'd say it's more ego than anything if you think you have to, because you don't have to. You want to maximize your performance here. Whew. Okay. Here we go with the last lift of the day. Well, the last lift that I recorded. After this, I did more tricep work, and I did some shoulder isolation, as usual. These are cable spider curls. Now, I really like doing these lately. These give a great peak isolation. They really hit that main head of the bicep where you build up that peak. It's the round part when you flex. That's the part that you see just popping off the arm. Arnold comes to mind. All right, he's got the peak. He's got peak on peak on peak. This move works the part that you see on Arnold. Now, when I do these, it's just total isolation. That's on my mind. I'm not using any momentum or anything like that. My body's just laying on the bench. It's just my bicep doing the work. My grip is kind of light because I'm really not even interested in squeezing really hard for my forearms or anything like that. This is just, again, bicep isolation. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but really, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about right here. So I've got another set recorded here. I don't really have too much more to say, to be honest. I like doing these voiceovers for exercises This is a more straightforward movement. I try to keep my elbows in one spot. You're going to see, like, I'm trying not to push them back and forth. I'm just trying to let my biceps do the work of bending my elbows. If my biceps can't do it, I don't want anything else doing it. No outside momentum, nothing like that. So I think that's the tip I'm going to leave you with. If you're doing a spider curl, try to keep the elbows stationary. Let the biceps do the work. Move the upper arms around the elbows, not the other way around. One more. Come on, let's get one more. Big biceps. Peak, baby. So I was just gonna let this be a voiceover today. I thought, yeah, I don't really feel like doing a training chat, but right now in my head, I just said, fuck it. Let's talk about something that came to mind when I was doing my 15-degree close grip bench presses. So, I didn't hit my 10-10-10 on that today. That was my goal, 10-10-10, 160, but I went 10, I went 9, I went 7 or 8. And it gave me this idea. Let's talk about progressive overload and what do you do when you hit a wall. So with progressive overload, you're always trying to move forward a little bit. A little here, a little there. All you really need is a little bit. And that's good. It's a good philosophy. But it's impossible to do that every single week, over and over and over and over. You can't do that. If you could do that, you would have infinite strength. We know that's not true. And the amount of weight you'd be lifting would be insane. Like, you'd be lifting buses, houses, stuff like that. Infinite strength just isn't a thing. And I don't even think I'd want it to be, because can you imagine the amount of resources you'd have to fulfill your poundage needs? I mean, you wouldn't be able to do it. Weight would be costing you millions of dollars. So I'm glad that we don't have infinite strength. But that just means we run into a wall eventually. When you keep trying to push, you're going to run into a wall. It's part of training. So what do you do? How often does that happen? For me, I'm going to talk about one method that my programming uses to push through linear progression plateaus. Now, I find that this happens with people around like the 8 to 12-ish week mark. I found that through years of training people, doing programming for people, just specifically laying out their numbers for them on a weekly basis. And so I can just see, like, I have that anecdotal evidence, thousands of weeks of clients worth of anecdotal evidence. And I just find that, like, around that 8 to 12 week mark, if you're linearly progressing somebody without switching up rep ranges, they're going to hit that wall around that mark. There's just something about it. So when I put together GST Size, that's the program that I'm on right now, I've been doing straight sets of 3x10 for my supplement lifts, or my accessory lifts, as a lot of people also call them. And that's not going to last forever. I'm in phase 1 of the program right now. So I'm in what's called a set rep lock. I like to call it that. It's just keeping the same rep count goal for each set. And this applies to the accessory lifts or the supplement lifts. This lasts 8 to 12 weeks in this program. So that's phase 1. Now, you can tell, I'm in week 9. I'm starting to run up on challenging weights. And that's planned. Like, that's expected. I know it's coming, especially when I do try to overload every single week. And that's why I keep the journal. That's another topic. So I'm about to enter phase 2. Phase 2 starts to incorporate rotating rep ranges, and that's the principle that I want to talk about today. That's how I push through plateaus, linear progression plateaus, sticking to the exact same rep range. So I start to implement multiple rep ranges for my supplement lifts. GST Size implements a low rep scheme, which is around 5 reps per set, a medium rep scheme, which is around 10 reps per set, and then a high rep scheme, which is 20 reps per set, sometimes 15 to 20. I like to shoot for 20. I think it has added benefits over 15. I think the benefits that you get from 15, you get more of those benefits from 20, and you don't really have to change your weights up all that much. So I like it. More volume, more of those high rep benefits. So how do you run this? Now, the basic way that you can run rotating rep schemes, and I'm just going to talk GST here because that's the program that I'm on, is the basic version of GST. The first version runs them in a 1-to-1-to-1 rotation. So just low, medium, high, low, medium, high. So that's that 1-to-1-to-1. GST size is running a different scheme. It's more hypertrophy based, so it's more focused on the medium rep range. That's just a generally great range for being able to load up a solid amount of weight on the bar and then hit a nice amount of reps, not very low rep, not very high rep, but just a nice amount of reps to allow you to get a nice total volume number. Decently big weight, decently high reps, big volume. Okay? Now, this rotates in a different setup. It is low, medium, medium, low, medium, medium, high. So what you're going to see is you're going to see medium at most, the most frequently, then low reps comes in a second, high rep comes in a third. And that's just the way I have this program set up because I like to build up that near maximal strength with the low rep. That's going to carry over to better performance in the medium rep, which is what we're focused on the most. And then you're also going to get a taste of that high rep, which is just great for de-stressing the joints a little bit. You still use weight that's tough, and you still get the benefits like improving your pain tolerance because you get a lot of burn with that rep range. Improving your mind-muscle connection again because you get a lot of burn. It illustrates where you should think about on your body when you're doing that exercise because you can literally feel it. So those are just some of the benefits of the high rep range, but that's honestly a different topic. My point here is that when you are linearly progressing yourself and using just one rep range, you're eventually going to come to a plateau. I found that generally happens around the 8 to 12 week mark, and then you have to do something different. You can keep pushing up against that plateau. That usually doesn't work the best, and it's not that fun. It gets kind of boring at that point. It can even get defeating if you just can't overcome that plateau. Mentally, that's not good. So start implementing rotating rep ranges. I told you a little bit how I do it, the two different variations, GST Basic, the original program, 1-to-1-to-1, low, medium, high. GST Size, the newest evolution of the program, is different. And yeah, I think that's it. I really had to talk about this. It just, that one set where I hit failure, premature failure before 10, that set, something just spoke to me and I was like, that's your topic today. You got to talk about that. You got to do a training chat. Even if you're not planning on it, you got to do a training chat today. So that's why I'm here. We're just chatting about training. And yeah, if you have any questions about this program that I'm on or rotating rep ranges, the benefits of low, medium, and high, hey, let me know. Drop a comment. Now, on another note, I made a, what kind of roast was it? Rump roast, yeah. I made a rump roast this morning in the smoker, and that thing has been resting. I am ready to go and get that. I'm just going to get straight red meat protein in about 5 minutes. Just finished up the workout. It was a solid day. My muscles are ready to feed. So I'm going to let you go. You have a good one. I'll talk to you later.